All right, YouTube video number 2. What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Got a bench day today, second bench day of the week. We are working closer grip bench press. So just a little bit more narrow than usual competition grip, but not really like a true close grip bench press. We're gonna hit some tricep accessories, some seated dumbbell power cleans. I got one other thing on the menu. Can't remember offhand what it is today, but it's going to be a solid little upper body session. And yeah, going to take you guys through the day, kind of give some tips on benching, and probably be a little bit of a shorter video, and then we'll get out of here and get on with the day. Didn't film the warm-up, but usually I do the same warm-up for my bench days. It's almost always kind of like a winning style warm-up where I'll do 3 to 4 exercises, usually just 3 for about 3 to 4 rounds, depending on how I feel on the day. Usually around 25 reps per exercise, and I'll just rotate that pretty much as fast as I can. Today, it'll almost always be some variation of an upper back row type of variation, some type of bench, and a tricep movement. So today we had face pulls, 3 sets of 25, dumbbell bench, 3 sets of 25 with around 10% of my bench 1 RM in each hand. So I used 35-pound dumbbells today. And then some banded tricep kickbacks. I'm 2 warm-up sets in, got 135 on the bar. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's have a good little upper body session today. Oh, 185 on the bar. 4th warm-up set here. Not going to take too many today. Feel pretty good. Probably go 225 on the next set and then get into our working sets. But all right, let's talk a little bit about bench. So by no means do I have a crazy bench. Bench 330 in competition back in November. But I can say that in 2023, when I started my powerlifting journey, my 1RM was 275, and in my last competition, 330 was definitely a little bit of an undershoot. We definitely had some left in the tank. Me and my coach looked over the videos, and I'll put that video in this YouTube video so you guys can see it too. I definitely had a little bit left in the tank, probably somewhere around 345-ish. So with that being said, that is if you want to call it, around 70 pounds on my bench in 2 years, which is, pretty good progress if I had to say so. But what did I do, and what did my coach and myself do to get that number to shoot up the way that it did? I can tell you right now, my number one tip is technique, and that goes for every single lift, right? The big 3, squat, bench, and deadlift. If you can refine your technique and get it to a spot where, you are able to use your leverages to the best of your ability, and you're able to repeat the same consistent quality technique over and over, your numbers are going to start to go up a lot more rapidly than they would if, your movement quality was poor, right? 225 on the bar, last warm-up set. So let me build upon that thought that I just brought up in the last warm-up set, which was your technique, right? I'll put out a video on squat, bench, and deadlift technique in the future, but what you want to look out for is you want to have a repeatable setup and technique every single time, right? So a lot of times I think people who struggle with bench or even squat and deadlift too, right? This goes for all of the big three. They will set up inconsistently to the bar every single time, right? There's no rhyme or reason to why they're setting up the way that they are. It's different every single time. Your setup is going to dictate how the rest of the lift goes. So if you don't spend meticulous time and attention on getting set up properly under the bar, you're already setting yourself up for failure. You're not going to be tight underneath the bar, right? Your foot placement might be different on squat. Grip might be different on bench, right? You need to make sure that every single time your setup is exactly the same, right? Even in your warm-up sets, right? Ed Coan, I just watched a video with Ed Coan and Mark Bell. Ed Coan was, teaching you how to squat and deadlift. He has a good series out on Super Training. So I'll link that in the description. But Ed says, right, you need to make sure that setup is the same in your warm-ups and in your working sets. Every single time has to be exactly the same. So that's number one. First working set on the bar, we got 245. Gonna hit this for 5. Probably gonna work up to somewhere around 290 today. But anyway, second tip I have for you guys for increasing your bench that really helped me is probably need to increase your frequency a little bit, right? If you're only benching once a week, that's fine, right? If that aligns with your goals, if you're not looking to be a big bench presser, I think pressing once a week is probably a fine thing to do. But if you want to see your bench numbers go up specifically, you probably have to be benching more than once a week. I would say, 2 to 3 times a week is probably ideal. You see some crazy programs out there where bench frequency is like 5 times a week. That might work for some people. I would say that's probably overdoing it a little bit for most. But your bench press is not going to be a severely taxing lift, right? You can recover pretty quickly from bench press. And it's really a repetition thing where you need to build that technique over time. And the more touches you can get underneath the bar, the more you're going to see those numbers start to go up. So I would say definitely pressing, doing some type of press twice a week, whether it's a bench and an overhead or 2 bench sessions. You want to tend to vary those 2 different presses a little bit. So either undulate the volume by going maybe a little bit higher intensity earlier in the week, lower intensity later in the week. Mix up the variation so you can go wide grip, narrow grip. You can definitely do different, like a bench press and an overhead press would be fine, but you want to make sure that you're pressing at least twice a week, if not maybe 3 or 4. But that's going to depend on the person. So, all right, let's get into this one. Oh, kind of a sloppy set. First rep, I don't think I came to a full touch at the chest. Kind of reversed it a little bit high, but other than that, felt pretty good. Probably gonna go up to like 265 here. All right, we got 265 on the bar for the second working set. Gonna hit this for another 5. Working all 5s today. Going ascending sets, working up to an RPE 8. Third tip. All right, I would say probably one of the most important tips is you need to hit your accessories, and specifically, you should probably be abusing your triceps, right? Me personally, my triceps were a big weak point going into my powerlifting career. Um, I'll see if I can find a picture to put up there, but definitely had very underdeveloped triceps. And I don't think a lot of people, especially raw lifters, give the triceps enough credit for how important they are in the press. I think everybody wants to kind of glamorize the pecs, but your triceps are one of the main movers, one of the prime movers in the bench press, especially at lockout. So yeah, you definitely need to be hitting your accessories and hitting them super super hard, right? If you think your technique is pretty solid and you're benching twice a week, but those numbers aren't going up, take a look at your program. Are you hitting your accessories? And be honest with yourself. Are you hitting them hard enough? You could probably be hitting them harder, right? You really got to do like some serious bodybuilding stuff and build those weak points up. Yeah, I would say right now those are my top 3 tips for increasing your bench press that you can start off with right now. I'll dive into some more than nitty gritty stuff in a later video. But I would say like as of low hanging fruits, those 3 tips are probably the biggest ones right there. All right, let's go ahead and hit this. See if we can work up to 290 today, and then get on to some accessories. Here we go. Ooh. All right. Last set here. Got 290 on the bar. Gonna hit this for 5. Should be somewhere around an RP 8. And then we're gonna move on to some accessories. But to add to my last point, I would say that some common weak points for powerlifters and athletes alike, if you want to increase your bench, you got to do your rows, hit your lats and your upper back. Got to hit your triceps hard and heavy. Early in the off season, hit your shoulders, right? You don't want to hit those too close to competition time. And definitely hit your pecs too. But don't forget about your accessories. Here we go. That was a really bad set. Kind of lost it. Almost rolled forward in my hands on the first rep. Whew. I'm going to hit a back down just so I finish off with one more solid set. But definitely not my best set ever. So maybe I should take some of my own. Alrighty. Hitting a little back down here at 275. All right, so last set. Setup was probably not great there. Just taking the bar out, I think I took it out a little bit too quick, and it almost wanted to roll forward in my hands a little bit there. Kind of rushed the set a little bit. I think I was a little I think I was a little too excited for that set. Tried getting myself, I don't want to say too amped up, but I was probably a little too overexcited, and just tried to rush the first rep. Didn't really control it the way I usually do. So, I mean, it happens, and, I was supposed to hit 5 there. Ended up cutting it to 4 reps. It's probably like an RP 9 there. I think on another day, maybe I have that, 290 is definitely not super, super heavy weight for me, but I think, just with the misgroove there, I think cutting your set short sometimes can be a good idea, just so you don't necessarily overshoot or fail the lift, right? You definitely want to stay away when you're doing strength work. Stay away from failing as much as you possibly can. So, cut it off at 4 there. Tried to leave, at least 1 or 2 left in the tank, and now I'll hit a nice little solid set at 275. 5 reps, hop out of here, feeling good. And, we'll move on to some accessories. So let me get locked in real quick, and we'll finish up here. All right, that was not bad. Finish off there and move on. All right, so for first accessory of the day, I'm just going to film this set. Got ring push-ups, really just focusing on getting super, super deep stretch here. Just absolutely trying to get the pecs under the most amount of stress possible. I like the rings too. This is a new one for me. Haven't done this yet in the program. I like a little bit of the added need for stability here. Gonna load this up with chains around my neck, so I apologize if you can't really hear this that well, or if the chains kind of muffle the audio. So I'm just gonna film this set, and then I'll show you the last 2 accessories of the day, and then we'll get out of here. All right. Oh, I like that a lot. That feels really good. Oh. Anytime you can just take a muscle through its full range of motion and get a nice stretch, it just feels so good. Nice little pump there. Probably throw a little bit more chain on. Whew, that's a good one. All right, unfortunately my audio cut out, but what you'll see that I'm doing here are dumbbell rolling extensions. This is one of my favorite tricep accessories. You'll see that I take these dumbbells, bring them down to the shoulders, roll them back, and then punch them up. I just like these because I'm able to go super heavy. It allows me to do a little bit more weight than a typical dumbbell tricep extension would. And like I mentioned earlier, you want to be able to train your accessories super, super hard and super heavy in order to get something out of them and push your bench numbers up. All right, and lastly, we got some seated dumbbell power cleans here, just trying to hit the upper back and rotator cuff muscles, going super light, controlling that eccentric. If you're going to try these out, make sure that you're starting light and going with some higher repetitions just to feel a little bit of a burn.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed those bench tips. If you guys want to see anything else in the future, please leave a comment and let me know. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That really helps out a lot. And if you're looking for premium remote training, go ahead and DM me on Instagram or fill out the consultation form on my website. Thanks, guys. Talk to y'all later.